Let me introduce Lord Nazir Ahmed. Now, I think the list of credentials is such a long list that I'll have to do a presentation to really explain that. But if I can just sum it up saying that he is the first Muslim Lord of the House of Lords. He has done tremendous service for the community, multicultural community, starting from Sheffield. And at present, the relevance of him coming today is very diverse and widespread. I can only quote one relevance here. He is the chairman of the all-party parliamentary entrepreneur group. So entrepreneur group. So he's been giving advice to all-party entrepreneurs about business. So I really invite him with request to come down and just share some comments about the business conference. Lord Nazir Ahmed.
Mr. Chugtai, very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, many of you probably don't know what lords do, and you're not the only ones. There are many other people as well, and one of the things that we have to do is go and talk to people and tell them what members of the House of Lords do. One of our famous baronesses, Baroness Thatcher, was asked to go and talk to people in St. Thomas's Hospital across the road. And she went to the hospital, visited the ward, went round to see many women and men in their beds. And there was one lady she went to and she said, "Hello, how are you?" And the lady said, "I'm fine." And then Lady Thatcher said, "Do you know who I am?" And the lady said, "No, but if you go to the reception, they'll tell you who you are." And so obviously, I'm not going to tell you who I am. Mr. Chugtai has already told you I'm actually founder of the all-party parliamentary group on entrepreneurship. And yesterday we launched the Global Entrepreneurship Week in the House of Lords. As chairman, I was hosting lots of students, professors, entrepreneurs. We had celebrities from Dragon's Den. We had people from the Prince's Trust and many other speakers, from journalists to real entrepreneurs. And it's very important because this Enterprise Week that Apex Center is hosting, it's very important that we support it for many reasons. That I'm very proud of the fact that the Global Entrepreneurship Week concept came from Britain. And there are 104 countries this week who are celebrating this Global Entrepreneurship Week. There are 400,000 events around the world. 10 million people are taking part in this week's events. And this is not just, sort of like only talking to future entrepreneurs who are students and young children from schools, but these are real young entrepreneurs who are our future, who provide jobs, who provide taxes for economy and for our country, but also people who dare start business. But one of the things that the Global the Entrepreneurship Week and the Enterprise Week does is that we have this big conversation. We have events where people, role models, come up and talk to young businessmen, people who are in business, people who are training, people who are creating employment and jobs, and also bringing role models in front of them and sharing good practice, some of the experience of these people who have made somewhere. I'm not one of those massively successful people. I was just telling Miss Shah that one of the successful people that I know very well is Sir Anwar Parvez from the Best Ways Foundation, who is of a Pakistani origin, who came to this country and started as a bus conductor. And then he worked as a bus driver. Then he opened up a little shop, which was a butcher's shop, and then a grocery shop, and then a chain of grocery shops. And now he is the second largest wholesaler in the United Kingdom, with £2 billion turnover with over 5,000 employees. There are lots of people. As you know, Mrs. Parveen Varsi, who started the samosa company from her kitchen, and has something like 500 to 700 people working for her. There are lots and lots of examples of people who started. Most of the business people who started long time ago maybe, but they started with nothing. Most of the entrepreneurs are young people or people who have ideas, and when they start their business, there are not many bankers or not many people out there who provide them, or even advisors who provide them with support or with money. I remember many years ago when I started my business, I didn't have any money. I started business. My father came to this country very proudly. He worked in a steel factory and he paid his taxes, and that's it. He made his contribution in society. But when I started in business, I started at a fair in Rotherham where I set up a table. I couldn't afford, I didn't have £200. I borrowed £50 from somebody, and I shared a table with somebody at this, like a stall, where I bought crisps and beverages from the local Asda's. I'm not advertising for Asda's here, but the local Asda's and local cash and carry. And sort of like sold these products over the weekend. And I made £150 profit, and I had some crisps left for my lunch and dinner for the following 2 days. And then I went to my family and I said, if I could do this in 2 days, what can I do in 7 days? If you borrow some money, buy me a little shop, then I will prove to you that But the art in success is actually not just running the normal routine thing. It's that extra hard work that you're going to put in. It's those extra hours and extra commitment that you're going to put into your business. And basically, when in the old days, when small co-op shops were closing down, I went into a business. Well, my first business was actually a groceries and a fish and chip shop. And the new concept that open at 8 o'clock in the morning and close at 10 o'clock at night. Now you have 24 hours. But at that time, the normal grocery shop closed at 5:30. And half day on Wednesday or Thursday and Sunday it was closed. Well, that wasn't a concept with me. You could guarantee that you could go to Nazir's shop on Christmas Day and it will be open. And if you run out of your eggs and milk and bread at 10:30 or 11 o'clock, so long as his fish and chip shop is open, they will go and bring you the bread and milk from the other shop and sell it through the fish and chip shop too. So it's the service that was provided, and people knew, guaranteed, whenever they come back from work, when they come back from the local club or pub, that they would be able to pick up what they need. And the second most important, I think also in those days, is the way I treated my customers. It was unknown that when my customer came to my shop, that it was, "Good morning, madam." And first, the working class women from my mining village who came there, and I said, "Good morning, madam," they'd look around to see if there was a real madam, somebody else talking to somebody else. And it was, "Yes, sir," "Yes, madam." And if we didn't have anything, I would write it on the list and I'll say, "I will get it tomorrow." So they knew they could go to that shop. If they didn't have it, they'll get it tomorrow. It's the service. And it's just carrying that bag and just saying thank you, not putting the change on the counter, but giving it in the hand and showing the appreciation. People don't care if it's extra 2 pence or 5 pence. It's the service they care. Everybody wants to feel important. Everybody needs to feel that their custom is valued. Somebody cares. And once you do that, then of course, from one shop to another, then I realized that by selling HP beans or Heinz beans, you make less money, but by building up a shop and selling a shop, you make more money. So I started buying and selling shops, and then petrol stations and mining and, you know, lots of other things. So the art is the same even today. Challenges are great. And I can tell you, Mr. Chugtai, only recently that even though the economic situation is not so good, banks are not lending and everything else, I just developed a site with lots of flats when everybody else was saying to me, bank was saying, are you really serious? You want to build some flats? And I said, well, this is the right time to do it. Because the materials are cheaper, because people who normally would not work for less, they're on the market. You know, the bricklayers, the plasterers, the roofers, they haven't got a job. So you can negotiate and you can get the best team to do the work for you. So Apex is doing wonderful contribution here this week. Because Business Enterprise Week and providing this venue free of charge to the local community and also the local council, I think is a great contribution. And I want to say thank you to you, Mr. Chugtai. You are a role model yourself, because you started with a small medical business. Now you're expanding into doing community service by encouraging local entrepreneurs as well as local businesses and young people. I'm sorry that I have to leave because I've got parliamentary work to go to, but I just wish you good luck. Thank you very much.